Hi, it's Brianna with my reflective journal after doing my shadowing hours. One thing I learned in the process of doing the shadowing was just how many directions a principal is pulled on a daily basis at a school site. I was able to shadow my administrator for a full day and watched her not only lead a data meeting with our fourth grade team, have to leave to attend a helicopter landing in the park next to our school from a car accident in the general area, a fire drill, multiple IEP meetings being handled in the office, all while she was the only administrator on campus. It was awesome being able to follow her through the whole day because I really got to see how she remained her composure under pressure when there were so many different things going on and so many pieces she was having to be a part of in one day, how she was able to handle them all and flow between one to the other. I was also able to witness multiple different principals and vice principals handling discipline between students who were either caught in fighting situations or just disrupting class. One major thing I noticed in all of the different situations where student discipline was being handled is that the principals really did try to make sure the student was able to go back to class and did not lose class time through suspension for fighting or just being suspended for disrupting the class. They really wanted to talk with the student, give them strategies to use when they went back, and then get them back in the classroom. I watched all of the different principals and vice principals that I shadowed go through different terms of formal to informal language. Whenever they were speaking with students, they spoke in a more formal manner, especially when most of the time I saw them with students was in a discipline form. So they were trying to really stay formal with them and make the students understand what they did wrong, what they could have done differently, and how they're going to handle the situation next. They tended to speak more informally when dealing with their office staff and different teachers, though sometimes they would speak more formally to a teacher when it came to, say, a parent and how to handle a parent situation. In one particular leadership meeting that I was able to observe, although the principal asked for teachers' feedback, you could definitely tell she already had a set plan in mind for how she wanted to implement the program. And even though the teachers had different ideas, they left that meeting with doing what the principal wanted and what the principal had in mind before she walked into the meeting. A couple things that surprised me were one, watching a principal sign an IEP signature page without attending the IEP meeting or getting a rundown of what occurred during the IEP meeting, and also how informally sometimes a principal talked to the office staff regarding students, parents, and other teachers and things that were going on with them. In one time, during my lunch period, was in my principal's office observing, and there was an IEP meeting going on at the table in her room, which is a pretty large office, but still to the point where you could hear if one side or the other talked loud enough. And she was discussing other students, parents, and teachers while there was a parent in an IEP meeting in the same room, about 3, 4 feet away. The major takeaways that I have after doing my shadowing is to make sure that I have clear expectations and standards for my teaching staff and to hold all of the teachers to that same standard and expectation. During my time shadowing, the principal gave one of our teachers an hour in the middle of the day where they could get coverage for their classroom to attend a personal matter. That teacher then took 4 hours and did not come back the rest of the day. That situation definitely made me feel like that's something where I would want to have a clear expectation and teachers would understand the process. So things like taking advantage of my niceness in a situation like that would not occur, that they would know exactly what needs to be done and how to handle a situation like that. Another takeaway I have was from watching the principals give the students second chances to not always jump to a suspension or to a harsh consequence, but to listen to the student, work with the student, and try to find a middle ground where they can get back to class. They can learn from their experience without losing time by being suspended or sent to detention. And probably the biggest takeaway I have was looking back at when I do want to become an administrator is making sure I hold myself to professional standard at all times. Although I may be friendly with some staff more than others, keeping that professional level up and not speaking about other teachers to other teachers. I, during my time as administrator, especially on the full day, witnessed a lot of small private conversations from my principal to other staff members regarding teachers that just made me feel very uncomfortable that I was getting to hear and listen to because they were about staff members that I work with and they were not conducted in the most professional of manners.